starting order to go ahead and start. Brittany Clymer from Murfreesboro, Tennessee will be driving that '05 truck. Tucker Wingo from Springfield, Tennessee, and the one brand new driver to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Jacob Bradley from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, driving number 9. Chad Chaffin is not in this race. It is Chase Chaffin, still part of the Chaffin family. From Murfreesboro, Tennessee, driving number 3. Jeremy Burns, 87, on the front row with Nicholas Formosa, your 2023 Super Trucks track champion.
Yeah, both of the Chaffin boys in action tonight. Chaz will be driving that 95 late model, and Chase tonight here in that 3 truck.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. They line up, they load out as we get ready to continue to get more information. First night race of the year for all series, should we say. The trucks we are hearing, it will be a 30-lap race, and they'll be lining up and getting ready to go.
Of course, these Super Trucks sponsored by Big Machine Vodka. These are the Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler Super Trucks as they begin a couple of warm-ups left, led by that beautiful U.S. Air Force pace car. What was? Okay.
What do you say?
25 laps
25.
instead of 30.
So there's an update on how many laps we have for this race. It'll be 25. After will be the Pro Late Model feature. Now, the Super Trucks don't race with us every single week. They're with us for a select group of races, which makes it exciting come November because usually the points are very, very tight.
Yeah, and a big difference in these guys, Jonathan, obviously with the pros, you've got to manage those tires for 100 laps. These Super Trucks have 25 laps to get it done. So they'll be going loud pedal from the green flag. So this should be a great shootout here tonight.
Let's talk about what's going on, including on the racing surface. As some of you saw during the Legends and Bandolero races earlier today, in the corners, there's a lot of water spilling out of the high banks. This is because the track surface is on the other side, which gives it the character and the great racing the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is known for, but weepers have been running down the banking. Now, there's been a lot of work put to this track. In the meantime, to prepare it for racing, it's not going to fully affect it. It's definitely dried out since practice, but it's definitely going to be some type of effect on where you enter down into turn 1.
Yeah, Jonathan, these first few laps may be a little tricky. May want to just step lightly, but I believe when we get the heat in this track, these will not be a problem for the rest of the night. So we are in store for some great racing. Folks, we're glad that you're here again, Racing America. If you're tuning in, welcome in. If you haven't been to Nashville, make your plans to join us. Great time. We'll take you down to Broadway, do some honky-tonking, and you're going to see some great racing while you're here. There's Gary Davis giving them the 1 to go. We will be going green flag racing next time by.
Dave, to fall harder, can you meet me at Chase, please? Let me drop off this legend I had in the boneyard, and I'll be up there.
All right, Ramus, keep your eye on that front row. 2 former track champions, Nicholas Formosa in the 81 and the 87 of Jeremy Burns. As they come through 3 and 4, that pace car ducks down onto pit road as they enter the restart zone. Those 2 white lines. There's the green flag, and we're off and running.
Formosa inside, working its way down to 1 and 2. Jeremy Burns on the outside runs wide up the banking, looks for the tight move to the inside. Won't happen, back nose to tail.
Formosa gains that lead out of 2 as they go single file down the backstretch. Burns now trying to pull up on the bumper as we complete lap 1.
Top 4, top 5, nose to tail, already about half a truck length, maybe even more between Formosa and Burns. Both those drivers had a lot of great efforts and a lot of great finishes last year in 2023. No doubt about it, they're going to be tough to watch and tough to go ahead and run with. Burns to the inside, runs that yellow line. Formosa comes off corner exit. He leads lap 2.
Single file racing around that track, watching them go through that turn 1. Ramus, it doesn't look like those weepers are an issue right now, so that's a good thing. I'm sure these drivers are are feeling a little more comfortable after a couple of laps going through there. But we've seen Burns now pulling up on the tailgate of that 81 truck.
Yeah, you definitely see that, at least in the first opening part of the lap, they were skeptical heading through. They wanted to use that inside lane, but it was just so much water that they thought from what they saw. Well, definitely now the aggression is picked up on entry. Sparks flying from the bottom end of these trucks. They run very low to the ground, including over all the humps and bumps that you see on that inside lane. Does not stop the great race in action. Top four nose to tail, well under a second of each other. Chase Chaffin up the track. Here comes Jacob Bradley down to the inside. Couldn't find a way through.
Jacob Bradley driving that familiar number 9 of Frank Bowers. And we see him trying to pull up on the 3 truck. Meanwhile, they stay single file. Now we see the 9 truck underneath the 3 of Chaffin as they go into turn 1, and it looks like he will complete that pass.
And Chaffin may try a crossover. Not going to happen. No speed down off exit. Allows the machine of Jacob Bradley to sneak on through. Jeremy Burns, on the other hand, is right to the rear end there of Nicholas Formosa. Formosa's been giving him the daylight to the bottom, but not for the time being. Back to 1 and 2. Burns drives it in deep. Formosa now forced up the track. Ooh, side by side, nearly was coming off 2.
Just what we expected, Ramus, between these 2 guys. Like I said, 2 former track champions that know how to get it done here as they go single file, nose to tail, down the front stretch.
And you see Burns continue to peek to the inside. He couldn't get it that time. Formosa's giving him all that room. It's really about the drive off exit here at Nashville. Right now, Formosa's got it made. That truck is quick. Same with Jeremy Burns. The only thing is there's a difference between catching a guy and passing a guy. It's about to be a 3-truck battle for the lead.
Anytime you try to pass a name like Formosa, you're going to have your hands full. Nicky, Tony, all of them, tough racers here at Nashville. As we see that Burns right up on that tailgate. I think he's just kind of stalking him right now, Raymond's trying to pick. Oh, it gets into that tailgate a little bit. Moves to the inside. Here he comes, Jonathan.
And Jeremy Burns will take the lead, but it's not over. It's 3 trucks under a blanket. Burns downstairs. Formosa with the squeeze. Here comes Bradley. That's wheel to wheel for the second spot as Jeremy Burns gets away.
That is how you do it on the short tracks. Here at Nashville, just a little bit of a tap. Get him a little loose underneath. And pull away as the fight is on now for that second place spot. Exactly what Burns wants to see.
Yeah, Formosa's been washing up the track multiple times on entry and through exit. The only thing that Jacob Bradley has is the idea of possibly squeezing him up on the outside wall. They run again through 3 and 4. Bradley getting pushed on the inside, but gets the drive off. Still a dead heat for that second spot.
Bradley door to door with Formosa now able to pull out front and gain that second spot. Then it's Formosa, Chaffin, and Tucker Wingo.
And Chase Chaffin, I believe this is his first truck race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. He's pulled to the tailgate a couple times of trucks so far, but it hasn't been that big, aggressive push for the win that he'd like to see. Jeremy Burns has opened the gap up by about 1.5 seconds. The real question is who's going to get that second and third place position. 3 trucks, all under a blanket for those running orders.
Yeah, Burns now separating himself from the next 3 trucks. A good 15, 20 truck lengths, rather, as they work lap 12? No, we're going 25.
We're doing 25 laps. So
hey,
we got
public
17
school
laps to go.
education. Don't hold it against me, all right? Yeah, here we go. 18 down, 25 scheduled, so only 7 more laps in this one.
Now let's talk about Jeremy Burns. He's someone that feels like the championship, the track championship just went away really late in the season. Him and Formosa were going at it. We also had Kyle Ivey up there. With Jeremy Burns, with how great he's running right now, you could question and say, hey, he is someone that really could get it done come October. I don't believe they're racing in November. So keep an eye on Burns. Every single race that the trucks run is even more important because there is no opportunity for mistakes.
Yeah, there's so few races, Jonathan, that they run this year. Points are important in every race. You've got to get all you can. And right now, this is all Jeremy Burns.
He's ahead by what was 15 truck lengths. It's now up to about 20. Jacob Bradley, though, didn't expect him to arrive on the scene and do this well.
Hey, I'll tell you what, they're giving that Frank Bauer truck a real good run, holding second place down right now.
The real thing is Nicholas Formosa, you won a track championship, and now he's in the clutches of Chase Chaffin. Highest of highs, October. Now you're here in late April, you might be saying, uh-oh, we're coming back to planet Earth, or may have to try to kick it back into gear because Chase Chaffin is right to the tailgate of the driver sitting in the third position.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see Formosa kind of fall back like that. Racing hard with Burns early, and now seems to have lost a little bit of speed as we have 12 laps to go in this feature race.
Let's go through the top 5. Tucker Wingo back there in 5th, his first start at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, a livery we have yet to see, the number 1. Chase Chaffin back there in 4th, driving that Kyle Ivey 3. Can we call it the Kyle Ivey 3? We're so used to seeing Kyle Ivey driving that truck. Nicholas Formosa back there in 3rd, Jacob Bradley all chasing Jeremy Burns. Now the gap, nearly 2.5 seconds. John, I want to talk about something. Every time he runs through 1 and 2, that being the Jeremy Burns 87, sparks fly off the rear end, near the deck lid, around the tailgate area. Is that just the rear end bottoming out?
It could be, Jonathan, the way they got that truck set up, and of course you know this track is bumpy and old, so not a whole lot of clearance. Doesn't seem to be bothering though, because he is carrying good speed around this track, running laps in the 20.7 second range.
And what's really cool about him is I look at how every truck enters and how every truck exits. Jeremy Burns just has it sealed shut to the inside. Watch everyone else. You see Jacob Bradley, can't make that inside work, has to go up half a groove. Nicholas Formosa, same boat. Chase Chaffin. Burns has been able to set this truck up so well to navigate the bumps. He is so much quicker off exit while every driver is forced to wash water.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Burns has that truck just painted down on the bottom, and the rest of these trucks are washing up just a little bit. I believe that's why he's being able to make such good time around this track. We've got 8 laps to go in this one, Jonathan.
Now, here's the thing about Burns. You have a great setup, you got a great truck, clearly you have a great driver. Now it's just 7 laps to go.
There is the 2 to go. I'm sorry. We cut this to 25,
We're gonna cut it,
right?
yeah.
So this one is just about over. They'll be coming back to the white flag this time by. And this looks to be the Jeremy Burns show tonight.
He has a massive advantage. I mean, now it's almost 25 truck lengths, it feels like.
Yeah, he can just kind of back her down and be smooth here on this last lap, bring it home. The race here is for 3rd, 81, and the 3 truck. Formosa trying to hold off Chaffin, hold on to that podium finish. And it looks like he may be able to do that as well. Out of turn 4, there is Jeremy Burns in the 87, bringing it home. Chase Chaffin fighting it out back there with Formosa. A good run for Jacob Bradley in that 9 truck, John.
Oh, yeah. And then next up, the final race of the night, it's all about the Pro Late models.
Absolutely. A good little appetizer there from the trucks as we get ready for the main course here with the Pro Late models 100 laps here on the high banks.
Muting both of us. We were at Nashville, by the way. I saw some comments saying where we were. How's everyone doing?
Hey, we have no idea how many laps that race was.
No, I know that.
I said
I kept saying, I said before it was 25, right? But the thing is, you're so used to seeing how many to go
That's
on the
what
race
I was
monitor.
watching, like 8 to go.
And then all of a sudden,
I
you
see
saw that,
Jeremy
like,
Davis
oh.
get 2. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was definitely a last-minute decision.
That's right. We do it on the fly here at Nashville, by the way.
Yeah.
Guys. All right. It is time
Pastor
to
Joe,
go
is he down
late
there?
model. I am fired up for this one, Ramus.
Pastor Joe, we bring it to you down on pit road. Who do you got with us? Come on, let's try it again. Pastor Joe, down on victory lane. He's got that 87 truck in hand. Who do you got with us? It works, Joe, I promise. I know it works. Joe, I can promise you right now it is going to work.
Come on, Joe.
He apparently did. Oh my gosh. Did he get the...
Oh, have we got him muted?
No, we don't have him muted. The battery probably died.
Oh, don't say that, dude.
I hope. I don't want to say. No. Uh-oh. You hear that? What's that? Oh. He's got to back it up.
Oh, it's in and out.
The problem is I think it's too close to his microphone. Oh, that's a microphone. It's so close to the mouth.
It's in and out. Oh, come on.
It's dying. I think the battery's dying. Yow. I have to open that up a little bit. Did they just bring that hauler to the back? How did he make that work? Did you see that? That huge.
Through the tunnel?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll fit.
Wow. That's crazy.
We need to get him another mic.
I think that's it.
We need to get him another mic. Then.
Thank you, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to line up and load for the final race of the night. It's the Pro Late Models from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, round 2. Familiar names, familiar faces are back with us. Dylan Fetcho in the number 89. He's on the inside as of now. Trey Craig will be on the outside to his right elbow. That'll be row number 1. Dawson Sutton, as you know, going for a track championship. And right off the gun, they get ready to roll. Some drivers going for their first win here at the 5H track located in Nashville, Tennessee. Others, well, they have other objectives. Either they're trophy hunting, going for a second, third, or fourth win. Others going for a track championship and consistency as we get ready to rock just one more time.
So, Ramus, who you got?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really honest with you. I say the headlines read Dawson Sutton first time winner.
Wow.
I think he's going to outduel Fetcho. I'm going to say it.
That would be a good one. I'm going to throw 2 names out there,
Okay.
all right? The first is Chase Johnson, the 20 car.
I like that one.
Chase is fast. He's overdue for a win. He has not had his first late model win. He's had the fastest car week after week. Let's see if he can get it done. One more I'm going to throw out, and he's starting back there in 8th. And, of course, that's last race winner Michael House.
Silver bullet.
If anybody can get this done from 8th place, it is Michael House. So, first time winner Chase, many time winner Michael House. Those are my boys.
Now, what about Trey Craig? Are you surprised about that second starting spot? Obviously, there was the redraw, but I look in this crowd and I see Trey Craig shirts, hoodies, jackets. I don't know, man. Starting up there in second. Hey, we've seen magic here before.
Hey, Trey can get it done as well. We know that. So, we'll see if he can pull it off here tonight, but he definitely has a good shot at it.
And it's going to be a lot of fun to see. But you have to stop the mean machine in red, that 89. Dylan Fetcho came out of the gun last year early. He won a bunch of races. He went back-to-back as a track champion. He's a 3-time track champion. If anybody knows how to get around this track, it is that Ford Fusion that'll be leading us to the green flag.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of these guys kind of cringed when he pulled that one pill at the redraw.
Yeah.
That puts him out front. Also, let's not forget about the Bolden boys and old Hunter Wright back there. He'll be hanging it out in that 29 31W installation car.
And let's talk about the big thing, and I mentioned it in the truck race, but I'm also going to mention it here in the pros because trucks do run differently than the Pro Late models you have now, the Weepers. I think every driver took a sigh of relief when they went in there and saw, okay, they can take it. They can hold on to it. They can take it. I think we can take it too. But don't be surprised if some drivers use lane 2 early on until they dip their toes into those wet spots. So keep an eye on that. It's going to play for some big strategy.
Yeah, I feel like they saw those trucks get through there with no problem. So I feel like they'll be confident going into turn 1 on this first lap. They might not as tip-a-toe as much as they would have if they didn't see that race previously. So Fetcho, Craig on that front row, Sutton back there, Chase Johnson lurking.
And waiting. He's been dying for a win. He was so excited in media day. He was so excited coming into this event. I mean, he's due. If anyone's due, it's him. And don't leave out Stacey Crane. I know he's back there. He sometimes flies under the radar, but when things really line up right, he takes full advantage.
And don't sleep on that 5 car of Brett Robinson out of New Albany, Indiana. Up there in 3rd, a great starting position for him. Let's see how he manages these tires over 100 laps. I know we harp about this, folks, but it's so important to take care of your equipment and your tires on this old racetrack because it will chew them up.
Well, let's talk about also with Brett Robinson. That's a brand new car, right? And it's a brand new piece. He's ready to go at it here as they line up 2x2 and get the one to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime from Middle Tennessee. So many storylines have lined up as they get ready to load for 100 laps. John Nix, the first night race of 2024.
Absolutely. Fans, you want to get on your feet for the start of this race. These guys are pumped to go 100 laps. Let's let them hear it coming down that front stretch, taking the green. Jonathan, they gather up down the back stretch. We're about to get underway.
Fetcho on the inside, Trey Craig on the outside. Let's do it. Let's go night racing from Nashville, Tennessee, as we're green from the fairgrounds.
Good start for this field. Fetcho jumps out front. They stay 2x2 on the next 2 rows down the back stretch. Craig and Robinson fighting it out for that second spot. Meanwhile, Fetcho's pulling out just a little bit.
Yeah, you see Chase Johnson looking for a way through. He can't go up, he can't go down, so he's slotted in line with that side-by-side in the third position. Dawson Sutton's back to fourth. Up to fifth goes Boston Oliver, and the new number. Right off the jump goes the one of Michael House. He slings it up to row 2, and he finds his way around George Phillips.
Chase Johnson right up to third from that 5th place starting spot. Good run for him. Robinson trying to hold on to that second spot. And like you said, Ramus, keep your eye on that one car. He doesn't mind running that little extra groove up the track. And we'll see him coming to the front, I'm sure.
And look at Chase Johnson. Over the back end there of Brett Robinson. He looks to the inside for the battle for second. Lunges in deep. Shuts the door, but Robinson tries to go ahead and keep a nose on in. Won't happen. Chase Johnson, P2.
Boy, he is hungry, Ramus. You can see he is ready to eat tonight as he heads toward the front of this field now with his eyesights on that 89 car as we go single file. You see House down to the inside, picks up another spot, move him up to 6.
Yeah, this is a lunge game right now. How quickly can you go inside and just park it up there in lane 2? You can see them mostly back nose to tail throughout this pack. Besides the wheel-to-wheel with Boston Oliver there and George Phillips, that's roughly for the 5th, 6th, maybe 7th position. But Chase Johnson has been on nothing but wheels here tonight. He is now up to about 4 car lengths back to Dylan Fetcho, who opened the gap up very early.
Again, Boston Oliver in that 38. Used to seeing him in that 88. But he is running that Emma Brett late model out of Georgia and giving it a good ride here tonight.
Stacey Crane may have caught the wall. A lot of white on the right side of that number 11 machine. He is now dropped back behind Troy Hall. The 44 there of John Bradley is right now shotgun on the field towards the back end. Crane, not what he wanted to see up front. The battles for the 4th position. Dawson Sutton to the inside there, Craig.
Dawson Sutton working his way toward the front, has Craig on the outside, makes that pass. So Sutton to 4th, Craig back to 5th, right into the grasp of the one car of House.
And House has got company. Look at George Phillips just cleanly put it on the inside. He made it wheel to wheel in an area that's usually see drivers let off, lift to find that outside lane. Inside of House, can't shut the door. House is going to be right on that right rear.
It's all about pace early here, Ramus, as you know. This is a long race on one set of tires, 100 laps on this old rough racetrack. And it's not surprising that House would let somebody go right now. We're only 9 laps into this 100-lap feature.
Well, that's the big thing. How did he win opening day? Do you think he went out there and fought on lap 9? He definitely didn't. When the veterans start backing up, you may want to start thinking why. Oh, Trey Craig loose on that outside lane. What a save. Could have been a lot worse, but he's going to lose a couple spots.
George Phillips got into the left rear quarter, got Craig sideways. Craig made a nice save to keep that going forward, but he will lose positions. And now we'll move George Phillips into the top 5 with that move.
A great save. Very rarely can you save on that end of the speed.
Well, I tell you what, you get loose out of 4 here. If you can save it, you've done some work.
Here's Dawson Sutton looking at the inside there at Brett Robinson. Robinson's already been under fire once tonight. He's going to get another look to the Rackley 24. George Phillips, the driver out of North Carolina, make that Charlotte, is not content running in the 5th position. he would love to get a 2-for-1 here. But as of right now, he just has to watch two machines battle back nose to tail.
At this point of the race, Ramus, you're just trying to manage your car, manage your tires, find out where your car wants to run. As they work early in this race, we have a long way to go. Not uncommon for these guys to run caution free either.
No, not uncommon at all.
We'll see how it works. But again, you see Sutton working to the inside of the 5-car. Robinson, give him that spot. Sutton up to 3rd.
Yeah, he locked it in. George Phillips, we talked about it. If he sees daylight, he's going to go for it. Look to the inside, a pressure to Robinson. Robinson won't be denied. He's going to hang tough on the outside lane and drive off too.
I'm impressed with Phillips early. He's showing really good speed. Now, whether he's using it up or not, we don't know. But really having a good run, holding on to 5th right there.
You can still see Chase Johnson in position that if he wants to make the move on Dylan Fetcho, it may take some time, but he's not exactly losing the gap. Still half a second between the top two. You have about 3 car lanes to the center of the corner, but Dawson Sutton's moved up to that 3rd position. If anyone is poised to go to victory lane, it will be that 24.
Absolutely. And we haven't really talked about Fetcho out front. I think Dylan, 2-time track champ, defending track champion here.
Trouble one, outside wall, not so quick. What a save by the 09 machine. That's Daniel Bolden. After Davey Coble got in the right rear of him, drifted up the track, he had a date with that red and white checkered outside wall, and I'm telling you, it had to be mere inches. Wow, unbelievable.
That was a moment for Bolden. What a nice save. Of course, he's had so many laps around this track. That's that old tunnel turn over there in too, Rabbits. We got to keep an eye on that, folks. We got that tunnel. There is a small bump over there. Some people know how to use it. They say Joe Buford was great at using that bump to help his car turn.
And Joe Buford tied for the most track championships.
Absolutely. He knew how to get it done. Meanwhile, here comes Sutton down to the inside. Oh, that is George Phillips making the move on him. Wow, Phillips to 3rd.
He's racing like a true champ. He's going to have a shot here at Chase Johnson. He's less than half a car lane to the back bumper of the driver in 2nd.
I don't think anybody told George this is a 100-lap race because, man, he is on the throttle. Now pulls right up to the rear of Johnson. We'll see if he wants to go ahead and try to take that spot or settle in.
Look at this. He's going to paint the yellow line again. Underneath the 20, but not in an area where he can get to the left rear. Watch again, 3 and 4. He enters high. He then drives right back to the gas before anyone else. This time gets the left sides on the apron. Wanted to pull alongside, couldn't get it done. Chase Johnson is saying, hold your tone. It's still early with 79 to go.
As we watch that race now, to the inside goes Phillips on Chase Johnson. We saw Michael House pick up another spot. He's up to 5th. As Phillips works to the inside, now P2. What a run for the 55 so far.
There's either 2 options here. A, he's just that fast. B, no, maybe let's make it 3 options. B, the car is just set up that good. Or C, he is pushing it to the limit.
That's right. And if it's C, he will not be around here at the end. You cannot go full out for 100 laps on these tires. So we'll see. But boy, I'll tell you what, very impressive early in this race as we are just about a quarter of a way into this 100-lap feature.
Top 7 under 2 seconds, top 3 under a full second. Let's run it down. Dylan Fetcho, your race leader. George Phillips, Chase Johnson, Dawson Sutton, the top 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, just a moment there for another bolt. Hamlet got under the 9. Jonathan got him sideways out of 4.
We saw the whole crowd point and look.
Yes, my gosh, these guys are driving tonight. What another save. The Boldens, 2 for 2 on saves tonight.
AC Doozer's back there as well. That's about a 4-car grouping. Hamlet sitting 3rd in points entering this race. Well, Trey Craig would like to look to the inside there of Robinson. They're also going for position. Let's run it back down. Michael Howes in 5th, Brett Robinson in 6th. Trey Craig, Boston Oliver, Davey Coble, Hunter Wright running out the top 10. Bolden, Hamlet, Michael Bolden, Corey Doozer, Stacy Crane. That runs out the top 15 with most of this field.
Kind of surprised to see Hunter not really making his way toward the front, hanging down back there in 10th. We'll see. Maybe he's just saving equipment or maybe he's just off just a tick tonight. Car looks good out of the corners. We'll see later down the road what he's got. But meanwhile, it is all George Phillips all over the deck lid of the 89.
And he almost lost it off too. That was a huge roller coaster ride, but good news, he's arrived at the back end there of Dylan Feccio. What was half a car length is now just a mere inches, back to 1 and 2. Feccio swings wide, Phillips looks inside, let the sparks fly off the left end. It's going to be a heck of a battle for the lead.
Yeah, I think he's pushing Dylan just a little bit. Dylan a little loose that time out of 4. He's been running a really nice line. But now he sees Phillips on his tail. He may just have to push him just a little bit here.
Well, they're about to have a minefield of lap machines. You have 2 towards the back end. That's John Bradley. I wouldn't say that's Troy Hall just yet. That looks like Chaz Chaffin in the 95. They're just now crossing the start-finish line while the top 2, hanging it loose, coming down off exit. George Phillips is poised to find victory lane.
Yeah, speaking of Troy Hall, we saw him take the hard left back into the pit. So Troy, good to see him back, but unfortunately out early in this one. Back up front, it is Feccio, Phillips, and then Johnson, Sutton, and the old number 1 silver bullet of Michael House, slowly working his way toward the front. Like we said, he won that race last week. He took the lead with 5 laps to go, Jonathan. He's not in a big hurry.
No, he's not in a big hurry at all. You looked at 4th, 5th, and 6th, and when they went wheel to wheel, they battled it out. He knew they were going to tear those tires up. So when he started dropping back again, he then caught the drivers that passed him and said, "Oh, you're under big trouble. Guess what? I'm just going to easily sneak through you. You thought you were going to fight me? That's not happening." The real thing, though, is the battle for the lead is on. I think Feccio was maintaining pace, maybe half a second, and waiting to open it up. But George Phillips is pressuring that 89 to go and in a big hurry. Looks back to the inside, down off turn number 2. Won't be able to complete the pass. What this has done is had Chase Johnson stop the bleeding with Dawson Sutton, so keep an eye on it. If Feccio is forced to push because of George Phillips, it could absolutely destroy the strategy of the top 2.
Another car taking it to the pits. That's the 95 of Chaz Chaffin. He will retire that car as we watch the leaders down the backstretch. Now Phillips looks inside. He is underneath Feccio. Feccio moves up and didn't really give him a fight right there. It is Phillips to the lead of this one.
Now the question is, can he hold it? Feccio looked top, not going to have it off exit. George Phillips, top of the spot in Nashville, Tennessee. Update here, Brett Robinson on pit road. He was slow down the backstretch. I don't really see an issue with possibly him getting into the outside wall. Something for sure now under the hood is he's going to pull into pit road.
Well, there are definitely some George Phillips fans here tonight. They are on their feet, cheering that 55 car on as he slowly pulls away from Feccio right here.
Chase Johnson back to 3rd, Dawson Sutton in 4th. Michael Howes is in that 5th position. For the longest, a lot thought the second Feccio took the lead, he wasn't ever going to give it up. So it's a real change of pace to see George Phillips take it and pull away from him. But there's still 63 laps to go.
I'll tell you once again, I'm super impressed, Jonathan. You know, like I said, we'll see what happens in about 50 laps here. And it is still early in this race. We're only 38 laps in, as Phillips starts to just pull away just a little bit. As the rest of the field single file now around this high bank 5/8.
John Bradley pulled it to the inside. He goes 1 down. Battle for the 3rd position. Johnson giving a little leeway there to Dawson Sutton on the bottom. Michael Howes is also closed back in. Guess what spot he's in? 5th. Trey Craig has also closed in. He's there in 6th. It's really 4 drivers around half a second from each other, maybe give or take. Dawson Sutton drive to the inside. Battle for 3rd again.
Underneath Chase Johnson through 3 and 4. Sutton trying to get by, a little loose there down low. Chase holds him off for now.
He's going to try it again.
Absolutely, he is trying to get underneath Chase. We'll see if he can get it done this time. Chase holding him down there pretty good.
He's putting him in jam. Put him actually down on the apron, the left side.
Yeah. He's going to make it tough to pass him, that's for sure. But now he's got the preferred line, I think, through there and should clear him off of 2, which he does.
It very much doesn't. Look at Michael Howes. He's going to see this as an opportunity to once again overtake a machine. So Chase Johnson is running right in front of him. Howes says, "Thank you very much. Inside advantage, it is for me." And wheel to wheel is now the battle for the 4th place spot.
House following Dawson through past Chase Johnson. Now they'll relegate Johnson back to 5th. So it is Phillips, Fetcho, and then Sutton, House, and Johnson, your top 5.
Davey Coble is back there with Boston Oliver, back nose to tail. Whoa, Fetcho has caught Phillips, and I mean in a big, big hurry. What was a 3-car length advantage was half a second down off turn 2. Should we say half a car length off 2? Still half a car length now off turn 4. And I think we were right. George Phillips maybe used it just a little bit too much because Fetcho is ready to take that lead right back.
Well, if Phillips is struggling now at 44 laps, he is in big trouble because there is a lot of racing left. We'll see if he can hang on. Shout out to Boston Oliver in 7th in that Emma Britt car. Giving that car a good run, not his normal ride. So good job for the boss man there in 7th.
Here comes Fetcho inside. George Phillips still obligated to keep him in that 2nd position. Mirror drive down off turns 1 and 2. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very tough to pass him because there's one thing he doesn't like to do, seeing the back bumper of another machine. Phillips doing everything he can to keep Fetcho behind. The only problem is Dawson Sutton. He closed in that time by. You bet he did. It's about a 1.5 seconds from what it was of 1.7. So how much do you want to hold off Fetcho? That's the big thing. Yes, holding him off will keep you in the lead, but at the same time, it's going to give him an opportunity to get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more in an area where he will be pressured and forced to move you or race you a little bit more than he used to, because if Sutton's closing in, if Howes is closing in, if Johnson's closing in, all of a sudden you realize, oh, that 2-car battle for the lead can very easily become a 3, 4, 5-car battle. For the fans in the stands, they want it. If you're a racer on the track going for the win, you don't want to see that at all.
Well, I think right now, Ramus, Fetcho is content to ride right there in 2nd. He knows he's got a fast car, and I think they've told him how the 55 has come up through this field and is using his up. So I really believe Fetcho, being a young but wily veteran here, is content to ride right there until they get ready to push that go button here in about 20 laps or so.
I agree, because he caught Phillips pretty quickly. So I think he went, oh, okay, that's a checklist. Check right there. I can catch him. Can I pass him? We'll find out, but there's no point in putting that pressure on. If you're George Phillips, you're starting to realize, okay, I think I need to maintain pace, maybe 2-car lanes, 3-car lanes. I can't just go out there and gap this field. This old abrasive surface, it's not unusual for short tracks in the United States, lower 48, but with this high of a banking, yeah, if you haven't raced on anything like this before, get ready, because it's going to let you know how it works.
Yeah, he will find out for sure, but right now, what an impressive run for the 55 of George Phillips, holding off these Nashville veterans as we are halfway through this race.
Let's talk about Sutton and Howes. Those two went at it during opening day. They're sitting 3rd and 4th. You're Dawson Sutton. You've been in an area multiple times in this track where you've been leading, you've had it made, and then all of a sudden the last 15, 10 laps, here comes a competitor that just played the strategy a little bit better, takes the win away. You think he's sitting back and learning a little bit there from Michael Howes? It is a lot cooler than it was on opening day with it being a night race. But I think he's in an area where he's really learning. He knows, okay, sit, like he's been told and he's definitely worked with, but patience. You don't expect patience on a track that's such high banked and very quick as the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Yeah, and these guys, you know, Jonathan, they look like they're running all out, but the veterans aren't. They're just pacing themselves. We see the lap times 19.3, 19.4, whereas they qualified 18.6, 18.7. So they're about a half a second off of what they qualified, running race speed is what we would say. And as we work later on in this race, we'll see who saved and who didn't. But for now, it is all George Phillips.
Rundown, Dawson Sutton has closed on into now a 1-3. Him and Michael Howes have been consistently quicker now than the top 2 drivers. George Phillips, he had a 3-car length advantage again. Dawson Sutton, and now even Dylan Fetcho's closed in. Fetcho, I would say, is about 2-car lengths back.
Yeah, we are just about to the point of this race where it's time to pick up the pace. A lot of these drivers I've talked to, 65, 70 laps in, That's when they put the hammer down and really put it to it. We'll see what happens here in just a few laps if Fetcho can pull back up on the back of Phillips and what Phillips has left for the end of this race.
Well, we're just past halfway from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You're watching round 2 of 9 in the 2024 season. We've already entered a different phase of this race. Early on, it was the battles. It was the wheel-to-wheel for first, wheel-to-wheel for third. Now you're in the area where it's all about strategy. Make it to the end. As previously mentioned, this race could go caution-free. There's no stages. There's no comp yellows. The real question now is, can you go to the end as a driver?
Yeah, like I said, it is not uncommon to run 100 laps of green flag racing here. So, like I said, it is all about tire management as we see Fetcho now starting to ease up on the back of George Phillips.
He's there. Now a car length and a half. Check that. Half a car length now for the race lead. Fetcho looks to the inside. Couldn't find it there. Phillips just kept that rear end on the nose of the 89. This time, Fetcho runs right to the back end. Mere inches from lifting the tires off the 55. It's still nose to tail. Who's arrived on the scene? Dawson Sutton is there. He's under a second.
They're about to catch the lap traffic of John Bradley in that 44. We'll see if that is a factor in this race as we see them 1-2 down the front stretch. Sutton in third, House in fourth, and Chase Johnson in fifth.
I think the lap traffic is going to be a big problem here for George Phillips, because if Fetcho does what he's done before, he will use the 44 as a pick to find a way around George. The only thing is, he has to worry about now what's behind him instead of what's just in front of him. Top 3 are all separated now within half a second.
Well, a nice job by Bradley to pull down to the inside and let those leaders by and not be a factor. Bradley, we know a lot of racing on this quarter mile. He knows he's been a leader and he knows what it's like to get out of the way. So good sportsmanship by Bradley there as we work lap 63, Remus.
Here's an update. Michael Howes is up to 4th. Chase Johnson's back to 5th. Trey Craig is now in that 6th position. Davey Coble, Boston Oliver run out the top 8. Hunter Wright's up to 9th with Benny Hamlin back in the 10th place spot. It's the cat and mouse game up front. Do you really have what it takes to get to the end? I think you pushed a little bit too much. That's the questions. That's really the things going really through the minds of the top 3. Fetcho knows he's got a good piece. He knows he can pass. He knows he can win at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. But what is George Phillips willing to do to keep him behind? And now not just the 89, but also the Rackley War 24.
And watching these cars go around, Jonathan, I imagine there are several drivers in this field that would love to see a caution flag right now and tighten back up and get a chance at this, because they are stringing out. This may end up being a 2-car battle. But now, don't sleep on Sutton right there in the 24. He is making ground.
Top of the show, I said he's my pick to win this. Personally, I don't want to see a caution. I want to see this go caution-free for multiple reasons. One, a caution-free race in racing is so unique. I don't like comparing the different sports, but it's like seeing a no-hitter in baseball. It's rare, it's unique, and if you're there for it, it's something you appreciate. And number 2, this tire strategy, this real strategy of the race is getting really interesting. We've talked about the ST1s and the ST2s all of opening day, but this is the first opportunity to see it under the lights. Best part about it, the consistency of the fall off is easier to gauge. So, how good are you at gauging the fall off here at this track? According to the top 3, we're about to find out who.
You see the 9 of Michael Bolden pulling on to pit road, so Michael with an issue there will not have a chance to win this race.
They're looking at that right front. It hasn't turned all the way to the right side, so it has to possibly be either something with the fender that they want to pull out, or maybe a possible issue with the suspension. They're looking underneath it from the right side, looking around the track. Still the top 3 under 1 second. I don't know, man. I think this is going to be one heck of a race. Look at the battle in the back for Hunter Wright. Hand over fist again. You know, we can talk about how loose that car is week in and week out, but can we just talk about how good of a driver Hunter Wright is? I mean, you know, let's put dirt on this track. I guarantee you Hunter Wright's going to find a way to make it even looser than anyone else and hold on to it for 100 laps.
You've got 100 laps and you're coming out of the corner twice in 2 and 4. 200 times he is hand over fist in this race. Hunter loves to hang that car out. They set it up loose for him. It usually works for him, but not tonight, man.
Oh, trouble with turn one. One up into the outside wall. That's going to be Bradley. He was running all the way back in the 14th position. John Bradley, new to the Pro Late Model scene. Just like that, puts it up into the outside wall. Man, that scared me for a moment. I saw that loop and pull, and good night. Oh, my goodness. Well, you talked about that caution. It's going to stack him back up.
With 28 laps to go, this will be an old school Saturday night shootout.
John, did I scare you? I probably scared everyone up there. It scared me, man. When you have a long green flag run like that, you're talking about strategy. All of a sudden, you see the big old loop and see ya. Man, that is wild. Let's talk about it. Front stretch, 3 degrees of banking. The corners, 18. It's so easy to have that rear end just let out on you.
Yeah, we've seen Bradley a few times get loose tonight. He's obviously dealing with a tough handling race car and finally backs that in the wall. Pretty good lick there. Anytime you back it in the wall up the track here at Nashville, you put it in there pretty hard, and it was a pretty good lick. I think he'll be okay. But rescue out there immediately. Our Safety Motorsports team, we appreciate them on Johnny on the Spot. And we will re-rack them, Ramus, and do an old school shootout here.
Yeah, we're going to pause about 30 seconds just to catch our breath, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back because there's a lot to talk about. Safety crews right on the scene. Oh, yes, you're right. This is going to be some old school shootout. Oh, yes, it will. Let's see it.
Let's go.
I'm sorry for scaring you.
No.
It scared me.
It's all good. It's all
I
good.
usually don't get that. Did I peek? I don't think I peeked the microphone. I
No,
hope I didn't
he
peek the
didn't. It was
microphone.
more just like, oh. It was like,
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
You can tell my voice isn't still there. For the ones watching, I know we got some new people in there. We had a stream yesterday, so the 500 mile has really put a toll, but we're getting through it. It's been a fun night.
He gets extremely excited.
I'm passionate about racing. I love it. I've been reading the comments here and there about what's going on. I'm going to go through it later. I know some people are asking to say hi. This is John Nix, the great John Nix.
What's up, guys?
I'm John Ramos. At the end of the race, I'll get to all the comments and everything. I saw some constructive criticism, definitely taking that into mind because it's all about getting better and keeping people to come back, right? Isn't the overall goal to give people a reason to come back the next week?
Absolutely, man.
That's
We're
what it's all
glad
about.
you guys are tuned in. Get yourself to Nashville.
Come on.
Come see us, man. We'll go honky-tonkin'. We'll get some racing in. It's going to be a good time.
I saw some of you have now tuned into Racing America because of this stream. Thank you so much for that. Keep enjoying the racing, and we're going to take you all the way to the checkered flag.
You're getting ready to hear it. This is going to be awesome,
Oh,
people.
yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
You ready?
This is going to be a shootout.
Is that computer monitor? Is that scoring monitor or is that TV monitor?
It's a
It's
scoring
scoring.
monitor.
I didn't think you guys had one over here.
Yeah. No, we don't. We're just.
No, we would have been following the monitor.
We're
if we
winging. We just wing it and hope they follow us. It's pretty much the way it
We're almost
goes.
radio styling
Easier
it.
said than done.
Yeah, right.
Especially when I have multiple cameras. I'm like, wait, who's on what? Where? How,
Oh, this is a
what?
multi-camera show?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I'm using this
It's
for...
not.
I'm using
I
this
mean,
for promos, man.
We got 3 cameras, 2 tops and a bird's eye. This ain't the Star show.
All right. Ready?
Hey, is there anything we can do?
It'd be nice to have a monitor, but otherwise, not really.
Okay. Well, I mean, the rest of this race is going to be pretty much the leaders.
I mean,
so.
that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah. If we holler out.
Did you
just
get the
'cause-
wreck on
Is
camera?
that a Yelton car or is that the Phillips is driving?
That's George Phillips in the
Is
55.
it a Yelton car or whose is it?
No idea.
We haven't been told. There wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
information on certain guys.
He's not
this
really a
race.
regular here, so.
So he was under the tutelage of Dennis Setzer for the longest time, Dennis and Brandon.
Okay.
And pretty much everything he stepped into with them, he kicked everybody's ass.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Pro
Well,
Lanes last year, he pretty much every time he showed up, he whacked their ass.
Well, let me tell you, he's impressive coming to the front of this field because these are some wily veterans.
Thank you guys for tuning in on Racing America. It's all about showcasing short track racing and
That's
finding
one
a...
thing that the,
explaining and showing this to a brand new
Setzer
audience.
guys are really good.
Growing up in Miami, Florida, it was tough for me to
Also,
get into short track racing because there wasn't that open scene to see it and view it. So hopefully this gets you guys into
Which
it.
is actually Bob's platform.
Track TV.
Yes. So
So we need to holler at them.
both. Yes, pretty much.
Hi atop in the booth at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I'm John Ramos alongside John Nix. Under the caution flag for the first time in this race, we got 28 laps to go.
Awesome. Thanks.
And oh boy, did it ramp up quickly. George Phillips, Dylan Fetcher, Dawson Sutton, they pulled into about a 1 second gap between each other. And all of a sudden, John Bradley went around in turns 1 and 2. We're not exactly sure why he went around, but the way it looked like, I think it was just way too much throttle input. I don't want to say it's because of the weepers, but I mean, you also have to consider that possibly.
Well, I haven't really seen an issue with weepers, so I
Right.
really couldn't say that. But obviously, you can see the back of that car is pretty torn up. So Bradley will have some work. By the way, Track TV is carrying this, so
Yeah.
we got to say hey to those.
We
folks.
have to. Track
Yeah.
TV, Racing America, they're both carrying us here tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We love Track TV. They did a great job with Speedfest. I'm telling you, that was one of the greatest productions I've ever seen for a short track event.
A lot of good stuff.
Amazing.
A lot of good stuff. All right, folks. Well, it looks like they're getting Bradley's car off the track, and everything looks to be clear. Hopefully, we'll be getting the one to go maybe this time by. It looks like Gary Davis throws one stick in the air. And
Choose
Ramus,
cone.
we're going to shoot it out 28 laps here.
Now we got to figure out where they're going to choose as well. We're going to get the one to go inside, outside. George Phillips, he is looking inside. Dylan Fetcho up to that outside. They'll go 2 by 2. Dawson Sutton to the inside. Michael Howes to the outside. This is what we're talking about right here. You mentioned it, an old school shootout on a Saturday night in Middle Tennessee.
And now we're going to find out for sure, Ramus, what Phillips has and what he doesn't have. Because now everybody is right there on his tail as they gather up down the back stretch. That beautiful U.S. Air Force pace car pulls down low as the speed increases, headed for that restart zone, looking for Gary Davis to throw the flag, and we're back underway.
Oh, George Phillips didn't get the start he wanted. Dylan Fetcher on the outside will take the lead to 1 and 2. Here comes Dawson Sutton with the look to the inside. 3 wide peaking with Trey Craig. They all get cleanly off turn 2.
Fetcher with a good jump from that outside. Now we see House trying to get to the outside of Sutton. Meanwhile, Fetcho now all alone down the front stretch. A little wobble from Benny Hamlet there. May have touched the wall. Okay, though, as everybody goes single file now.
Yeah, you can see Dawson Sutton wants to find a way around George Phillips and quickly. Victory could very much be a possibility with the laps winding down. Phillips is slow down off 4. Sutton forced to the outside. Here comes Michael with the move. Couldn't get it through. Michael House is just looking for an opportunity. 3 wide coming down off turn 2.
Phillips has a problem in that 55, way off the pace. Gotta wonder, has his tires gone away, or did he just bark and have a problem right there? He seems to be getting back up to speed, but meanwhile, he has lost a lot of track position as Dylan Fetcho now pulls out.
I think it's because it's the first time he went full saw on worn tires at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway with a hungry hounds of machines right behind. Here's the get-go. Dylan Fetcher, the race leader. Dawson Sutton's in second. Michael Howes is back in that 3rd position. Howes and Sutton are ready to go toe-to-toe. Michael Howes, oh, he's gearing up for a big, big finish.
We have seen this show before. Michael House running that higher line, saving those tires, and now he is on the back door of that 24. Meanwhile, Phillips now dropping back through the field. Not sure what that problem is, but he is definitely off the pace.
Howes is there inside. Dawson Sutton battle for the 2nd position. They look to turn 3. Howes the lunge. Washes the 24 up the track. Bite off exit. Oh, dead heat at the line. Dawson Sutton doesn't want to give it up.
Door to door through 1 and 2. House down low now pulls out and takes away that 2nd spot from Sutton and sets his sights on the 89.
Oh, man. Sutton thought about it back to the inside. That was that big wait and see. But Michael Howes is poised right here. He saved everything he had to do. This is just textbook racing out of the driver number 1. So he beat the young guns in week 1. He's ready to beat another veteran. Trouble, backstretch, George Phillips.
Just bringing it to the pit, sir.
No.
He's got an issue. Never got loose. Just car just not powered up as we see him just slowly pull that to the pit. So, wow, what a great early race for George. Heartbreak now later in this race. We've only got 20 laps to go, Ramus.
Yeah, this is going to be big right here. Back to the Michael Howes situation. Another veteran. Dylan Fetcho isn't just some guy coming in. A 3-time track champion. He's tied Sterling Marlin in that feat. The only problem tonight is he has to try to beat a car that looks like Sterling Marlin's old Silver Bullet.
It sure does. And you can see House now pulling away a little bit from Sutton. The question is, does he have time and enough equipment to get up there and catch Fetcho? Because Fetcho running a pretty line around this 5/8 mile.
Well, the racing is completely night and day from what we saw in week one, but for the Howes machine and the Howes team, that US tank car, night and day as well. I mean, last year they're about, what, middle of the pack? And this year now they're consistently a top 3 contender. I mean, this has been an absolute amazing ride.
Attrition starting to become a factor. The 55 now on pit road. Now the 29 of Hunter Wright brings it to pit road. So cars are starting to fall out here with 15 to go. And I'll tell you what, Fetcho looks mighty good in that lead right now.
He does. It's about 8/10 the difference between first and second, and Michael Howes did not get the run he wanted off turn 2. He's actually allowed Dawson Sutton to close back in to about half a car length. That's now going to repeat for a battle for second. At the line, Dylan Fetcho, just a little bit quicker. Now it's an extra 10th added on between the top 2 machines.
Race back in the field. That's Chase Johnson getting passed by Benny Hamlin. Benny Hamlin slowly working his way through this field. Now finds himself in the top 5 once again, Ramus.
All right, yeah, and that's the big thing here. 15 laps to go. You say, oh, man, that's not a lot of time. In reality, when you're stuck in that car, oh, it feels like an eternity. Your heart starts racing a little bit. You want to get a win. You want to go out there and push that aggression level just a little. But for Howes, he's just stuck in a really rough place here. He has to race Dawson Sutton because he's going to be in the battle for the track championship. But at the same time, he wants to go out there and go back-to-back. Sutton to the inside, wheel to wheel for the second position.
Sutton looking down low on House now. House drives it up the track and leaves him room as they work their way off the corner. Now Sutton a little loose. That'll allow House to pull back out.
Yeah, he got the drive-off exit.
Watching back in the field, I'm sorry, Jonathan, the 20 car, Chase Johnson now falling back as he's been passed by Davey Coble.
It's unfortunate to see all these great drivers we saw racing within the first 20 laps now struggle in the last 15.
And here comes Sutton on House. He dives it down into turn 1. House pulls up, now trying to get it back on the high side, can't get it done. So move Dawson Sutton now into that second spot as Dylan Fetcho eases away from this field.
So can he catch him with 10 laps to go? At the line, it's about a second and a half the difference between the top 2. Fetcho's maintaining pace here. He's not pushing it down off exit. Sutton is going to have to go all in if he wants to find victory lane.
You know, for me, Fetcho has just run the classic champion race right here. Out front, paced himself, kept everybody back there, and now he is just pulling away inch by inch. And unless something drastic happens.
Oh, trouble front straightaway.
Like that.
Davey Coble goes around and hits the inside wall. Comes to a stop on the entrance at turn 1. A caution very few wanted to see if they were in the Dylan Fetcho camp. A caution everybody wanted to see from second on back. We're going to have a classic short track shootout with 9 laps to go.
Wow, so that happened up here before the start finish. You can see the marks that start. That was a long slide and backed it into those temporary retaining walls. You can see he fires that car up and now able to pull it away, but he definitely sustained some damage right there, Ramos.
You know, if you came out tonight, you got your money's worth.
You're going to get
this
your
is
money's
gonna be
worth.
big.
I promise you.
I'm telling you, Dawson Sutton has seen the tailpin of Dylan Fetcho far too long. He is going to put everything, and I mean everything, right in the center to try to find victory lane. So what do you do if you're the 89? I wouldn't say brace. You're going to continue to run your own race, but I'd say this is going to be one of the most unpredictable finishes here in Nashville.
Absolutely, and there is Michael House in third. He'll be on that second row, and he will be looking for a way around these leaders for sure. As we see Davey out of the car, that's good news.
I thought he was going to pull it back. I thought I heard the engine get refired.
Yeah, he did fire it and pull it forward just a little bit, but evidently not able to get that rolling. So they'll have to pull him off the track. And we'll take just a minute here, regroup, and get ready for these last 9 laps here at Nashville.
Oh boy.
I didn't see what started that.
No, he was
right there.
struggling.
You see, it starts right there.
So I realized he's someone that was struggling really on the straightaway to get the power down. You know,
Okay.
and I saw out the backstretch. I'm like, man, I'm gonna keep
You
an
think
eye on
maybe
Coble.
he just spun the wheels?
I think he just spun the tires coming off forward because you can see the tire mark. I mean, it's completely just.
Yeah, it starts back here, and then you see he starts getting sideways right under Gary Davis down here.
I would say let's try to prepare for something crazy because this is going to be a wild finish. This ain't going to be
a wild finish.
a textbook.
No, sir. This will be one of those wild ones.
I'm going to prepare a call
I feel
just in case for every driver at the checkered flag because they're going to be using this for promo for a while. You can just feel it.
I feel like something's gonna happen here.
Like from the white,
Something's gonna
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off too because this is, I'm telling you, we're going to have a crazy finish. I'm feeling it. I'm telling you. I keep saying I'm telling you, but I just know this feeling. I'm going to take it off too, and then I'm going to do what Joe told me to do. Let it breathe a little bit. Joe Williams, he's
Yep.
coming to the finish. I'm going to name those last two couple guys that are going for it. Checkered flag, boom. But I'm going to let it breathe just a little bit because I know the crowd noise is going to amp in.
Well,
Instead of try to radio call it. So
we get the one to go. I'm just gonna give it to you, and you bring them home, son.
all right.
All right.
This is going to be one heck of a finish. By the way, Jesse Love won today. You want to talk about that? That
I do
was
wanna
cool.
talk about
Do
that.
we want to talk about
I like to wager every now and then, and I asked my boy here who he liked at Talladega. He says Jesse Love. I said, Jesse Love? He does
doesn't
not
love
want
Love?
a race. He said, yeah, I feel it. So I put a little something on Jesse Love. Oh, my boy, a cheeseburger and a beer for sure, man. Yeah, that was awesome. It was a good racing today. I can't wait for the Cup race tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Talladega's always fun.
Yes, it is. They're going to take a little while to put it on the back, so I think when they come back around one more, I'm going to pick it up and I'm just going to go through stories. You want to join in stories? You know a lot more stories than I do. You've been here a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, well, I got a few. We still got a good crowd here tonight hanging
Oh,
out,
yeah,
man.
man.
I'm impressed.
so
with
excited
that.
for Arca night, man. My family's going to come in too.
That'd be the weekend to come, guys.
Yeah, Arca.
It's a 2-night show. Friday night we do the quarter mile. Saturday we'll have probably the late models and the Arca. Come to Nashville.
We'll do the YouTube short again of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you guys tune in those streaming services. It's an opportunity to really get into short track racing. If you want a Saturday night show right now, John, I'm telling you, that top three, something is going to go
You can just kind
down.
of feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
Because we ran so long, green flag.
There's no way you wait.
Yeah, I don't think we go 9 laps here without something happening. We will see.
All right, I'm going to pick it up. Yeah, you can, if you want to put it on, it's up to you, but I'm just going to talk about stories. Well, you can feel it in the air here in Middle Tennessee. Located just 12 blocks from Broadway sits the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and we are in position for a great finish. Let's talk about it. Dawson Sutton sitting there in that second position. Rookie of the Year in 2023. He's been chasing that first career win for oh so long. And right now, he is technically just one spot away with 9 laps under the belt. Then sits Michael Howes. And if you've been a long-term viewer of the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, you know that number 1.
Let me tell you Dawson Sutton's problem right now, Ramus. He's got a 2-time defending track champion in front of him and a multiple track champion behind him. So if he wins this race, it'll be an impressive win because he is running with the big dogs right now. Trey Craig, shout out to the 15 car and Benny Hamlet in the 98. Man, good runs for those guys back to the top 5.
And I'm telling you, Benny Hamlet came into this race 3rd in points. He wasn't running too well in this race, really outside the top 10, maybe trying to sneak into it. But then all of a sudden, once again, second week in a row, he's crept into the top 5. I didn't even realize Benny Hamlet was in the top 5 till you just mentioned it. That is big because it's not really about where you start. It's about where you finish. And, well, here we are.
We also talked about a race of attrition. Jonathan, we've got 8 cars left on this track. All right, so this old girl will eat you up one way or another. Now we see Hunter Wright pulling back out, Bolden pulling back out in the 09, so they'll rejoin the field. But, man, this old girl, she'll take a toll on you for sure. Now Gary Davis throws one stick in the air. We'll turn down the house lights and we'll bring this one home. Fecho to the outside this time. Sutton to the inside, house outside.
All right, what do you have? 9 laps to go here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Dawson Sutton on the inside. You know he's going to be aggressive to turn 1. It's going to be off the edge of your seat and hold your breath. Dylan Fecho on the outside lane. He's lined up 2 by 2. Can Trey Craig catch lightning in a bottle, or can the veteran Michael Howes get it done? John, this is it.
This is it as they pick up the pace down through 4. There's the green flag. We're back underway. Sutton with a pretty good run down to the inside. Fecho right on that corner panel.
Oh, he wanted to clear in 1 and 2, and Fecho's going to get the drive on the outside lane. Sutton squeezes top. Still the dead heat for the lead of 3.
2 by 2 by 2 through the corner. Here we go. Down the front stretch, Fecho by a fender on that lap.
But that 24 won't be denied. He's not going to allow him to clear to 1 and 2. Runs up top, gets in the quarter panel. Fecho drive off exit, not going to happen. Dawson Sutton just will not stay away.
Sutton right there. Now Fecho just eases away. Now the race is back there for 3rd as Trey Craig gets under Michael House to take that away. But now it's Fecho out front once again, Ramus.
Laps fading away from Nashville. Dawson Sutton, if he has something, he has to show it here. 2 car lengths the advantage for the 89. Trey Craig's back to 3rd. The wheel-to-wheel is for 4th. Hamlet to the inside. House runs wide. 6 laps to go.
Look at Benny Hamlin coming to the front of this field. Up to 4th in that curb records 98. What a run for him. Craig up there in 3rd. Now we'll see if Sutton can pull up on the back of Fecho with 5 to go this time by.
He's not done. It's half a car lane for the top 2. Sutton is there. He's inching closer. He can feel victory in the steering wheel back to 1 and 2. Fecho runs wide. Sutton drives off exit. It is not over whatsoever from Nashville.
5 laps to go. Sutton trying to get to the bumper. House now falling back just a little bit as we see Stacey Crane working under him. So House looks like he won't have anything for these guys for the finish. But it is 1, 2, 3, Fecho, Sutton, and Craig.
All right, what do you do here? You're there, you're looking, you're peeking if you're Dawson Sutton, but you just need to get the runoff exit to approach the 89. Still half a car lane. Here's an underdog in the view. That's Trey Craig. Top 3, top 4 under a 2nd for the lead.
And these boys are going all out now for sure, driving for everything it's worth. Dylan Fecho, I think, has saved enough to win this race. He is holding a fine line. 2 to go, Ramus.
But how desperate do you get if you're the driver of the 24? Dawson Sutton has been second fiddle so many times, not just already this year, but in years past. He looks for an opportunity. He can't get it in 3. He wants it in 4. 2, 1 to go.
I'd wreck my mother for a win here. So I'll tell you what he's doing. The white flag's out. Bring him home, Ramus. Here we go.
Last shot, turn 2. What do you have for turns 3 and 4? Dylan Fecho, 89. Dawson Sutton, 24. Lunge to 3. The prayer will not work. Dylan Fecho victorious from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
What a run by the 2-time defending champion. Knows how to get it done. Saved that equipment. Another great run for Dawson Sutton, man. His day is coming.
Oh, yeah,
His day is coming. Trey Craig, great run. Benny Hamlet, 2 top 5s in the first 2 races. That is so good to see him up front again here at Nashville. Wow.
Wow.
Great racing.
That is unreal. It's amazing.
I'll tell you what. Folks, we're going to get ready to throw it down to Victory Lane. We see you filing out tonight. We hope you had a great time here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Hope you join us again in May for our next program. Will be Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th for the ARCA race as we see the 89 pull into Victory Lane. Hey, if you've had a couple of pops, call somebody, let somebody know. We don't want you driving inebriated. Drunk race fans don't let race fans drive drunk.
That's
Ramus.
right.
What a night. as we see Fetcho pulling it in, the crew coming around, give the congratulations. Again, Dylan didn't run that first race. What if he would have, Ramus? Would he be 2-0 right now?
I think he would be 2-0. But now the question is, you won. Do you run for a track championship? Yeah, you lost that first race, but Michael Howes, I don't know where he finished. We may have to talk about that at the end. Pastor Joe, it is all you down on pit road. He's going to have microphone trouble.
If your mic works. He's trying. Oh, gosh.
Is it the compressor? Is that the problem? Let's try it again. Come on, Joe. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Playing with your gain. I'm playing with everything. I don't even know which one he grabbed. I'm uncompressing the entire thing. I'm just going to uncompress it. Raw feed. Yeah, I saw the black flag. I was going to mention that, but we're focused on the finish.
Oh, I got you.
No, nothing.
Oh, God.
I just saved Pastor Joe.
Don't touch anything.
I'm not. I don't know. I just saved Pastor Joe. Oh, it's all right. It's not that bad. Was that call good at the end?
That was good. Good job.
I said the prayer won't work. I'm like, oh, I hope that doesn't piss anyone off. I was like, I didn't mean it that way, but you know what I mean. Like, the lunge, the Hail Mary prayer,
The prayer won't work this time.
That was a football call right there. Sends up a prayer, won't work.
Oh, man.
Was it a good call, though? Was it a good call?
Yeah. But,
it was all natural.
You did all you can because he's got a 10-car length lead. I mean, it's pretty hard to,
Yeah, it's about 2, but I've seen crazy.
It was a good call, man. Absolutely a good
Y'all
call.
thought it was a good call? Let me know.
Yeah, it was a good call. The kid knows what he's doing.
You're about to find out really quick. The biggest critic is me. And Jarrett knows that. Jarrett's in there. I've called races with him, and I'm just like, oh, man. People are like, oh, that's 10 out of 10. I'm like, more like 6 out of 10.
Hey,
What are you
man.
talking about? I'm so hard on myself.
Whole body's perfect, okay, man?
All right. They're bringing it back up to us if you want to call in. Or you want me to just continue? It's up to you.
We'll say goodnight.
Well, what a race.
Wow. What a race is right. What a beautiful day and night here in Middle Tennessee.
Let's give an update, though. Stacey Crane did not finish 5th. For most of you, you saw the black flag across the start-finish line, and Gary went ahead and pointed out the 11. Not exactly sure why he got the black flag, but Stacey Crane did not come to pit road to answer that. What a race. What a drive. Let's go give the rundown quickly. Dylan Fetcho, Dawson Sutton, Trey Craig, Benny Hamlet, Michael Howes finishes 5th. Corey Doozer, Chase Johnson, Daniel Bolden, Hunter Wright, Stacey Crane, Davey Coble, George Phillipson 12th, Boston Oliver, John Bradley, Michael Bolden, Brett Robinson, Chaz Chaffin, and Troy Hall. Here's the big thing. Sutton finished 2nd, so he got the bonus points.
Yeah.
You know who didn't get the bonus points? Michael Howes. And depending on how they do the qualifying points, that championship lead could very much be in the hands of the 24.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw House kind of fall back there at the end of that race. I'm not sure why, but thought he would be in contention with that shootout. But what another great run for the champ, Dylan Fetcho. Well, folks, it's been a great night here at Nashville. I'm John Nix on behalf of Jonathan Ramos, Brother Joe Nelms down there in Victory Lane. Everybody here at the Fairgrounds Speedway, Bob Sargent Track Enterprises, Gary Neal, we appreciate everybody's work. Jason Lord coming in, doing really great things here. And I'm excited about the rest of this season. Jonathan, that'll do it for tonight, buddy.
Yes, it will. So glad to have everyone with us. Good night, folks. Boom. That was awesome.
Boom, boom.
Man, that was fun. We get to do it again in May.
Absolutely.
I get to do it again next week.
Where are you going?
Anderson.
Okay. Where is that?
Indiana. So I got Anderson with CRA.
What's going on? CRA?
That's a street stock race. They needed someone to come up there, and I was like, yeah, I'll go there. And they're like, oh, we're also going to need you in Anderson the week after that. I was like, all right, what's that for? They're like, pro late models. I'm like, I got no problem with that. Let's do it. I love pros.
I will come for the pros.
And then after that, I think we're back here in Nashville.
We are
so
back here.
I got in-person racing for the next 3 weeks.
I will be at the Duck River Raceway Park next week.
Where can they watch that? Can they watch that?
Not every week. The Hunt the Front series, there are some that are televised, so I'll let you know. The
All
ones
right.
that are
'Cause
televised.
I'll let them know.
I mean, it's great racing. Quarter mile, high bank dirt track, 602 late models, screaming, 3 wide sideways. Don't get much fun than that, I'm
It
telling
doesn't.
you. All right.
I'm going to need that microphone, by the way.
Well, there you
The
go.
chest piece. There you go.
Sir.
Well, I want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in. Saw you guys down in the chat below. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. Some of you guys said the call was good. Very thankful for that. But as most of you know, I'll be the hardest critic in the world just because I really do care about broadcasting. Like, it is insane how much I care about it.
He's going to be a good one, too. Follow that.
I appreciate the kind words.
Absolutely, sir.
I'm going to get out of everyone's hair. I'll see you guys Tuesday night. And I'll be on Racing America next Saturday as well. If you guys want to watch all this live, join in on Racing America. That was a great race.
It was.
We had a great field. We had a good field. Unfortunately, we saw attrition fall in. Some don't like that. Some do like that. I thought it was interesting, but man, what a hit to the inside wall by Colby.
Yeah. And on this track, dude, you're going to have attrition.
Oh, yeah. This is how it is.
This is not an easy track to race, and this old surface will chew it up. So
I'm not flexing my biceps.
surprised there.
All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everyone that tuned into the Alabama 500. My 48 hours of broadcasting is coming to an end for the second time in April. No, maybe the third time. I've already lost track.
Hey, I'll need your picks tomorrow, by the way, for Talladega.
I'll let you know. I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.